The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Oh my goodness, everybody. Welcome back. This is your host, Rhonda Klch, and you are listening to The Credit Authority. I am so excited that you have tuned in today. I know there are so many places that you can listen, and you've chosen to listen to me. So thank you so much. I am hoping to bring you another amazing full day full of information, and hopefully something that we say today sparks your interest. And once again, we always want to thank our sponsors. So thank you to Equity First Consultants. If you have any credit or financial concerns, you could reach out to them direct at 631-714-4822. So without further ado, we are bringing on our first guest today. We have Bud Clarke from Corporate Capital Direct. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
Don't be nervous. We're good. We're all family here.
Sounds good to me.
So I know that you and I have had an opportunity to chat a little bit about business.
Yes.
So I want to pick your brain for those that listen to Long Island News Radio. We are a plethora of business professionals here on Long Island. Corporate Capital Direct is not your typical funding company. You're kind of a little niche-y in the market. So take a minute to really explain who you are and what market you serve.
Well, that's a good point. We are a little niche-y. We are what, I guess, in a sentence, we are a single source financial solution for businesses from A to Z. So rather than having to go to one place for one thing, such as a credit line, or another place for another thing, so working capital, line of credit or a loan, we could do it all. And we make it very easy. We have a lot more flexibility than a bank would have. We have different credit baskets, so to speak, than they have. We're not captive to the products that the bank board has approved, and that's all a bank can give you if you walk in. And we're pretty much a consultative operation. We don't just look at a product to get out the door. We want to get to know the customer. We want to get to know our client. We want to know, he may come in for something else, but he'll walk out with something different. He may walk in for a credit line and walks out with something that might be a little better for him, a little cheaper, a little more advantageous. And we really care about our clients, and it shows.
Something that you said to me earlier in conversation really stuck with me, which is two things. One, that you are all about the relationship. And two, you really are almost an affiliate to the banks that cannot perform service because you don't offer the other banking related services. So a good relationship for you are actually the banks that cannot offer the funding solutions. They can partner with you so that client is happy in their banking relationship, but they're able to go to you for the funding portion.
That is a very good point, Rhonda. We receive all of our referrals, clients, customers from professionals, and a good portion, are their actual bankers, like you said. And a banker, they want to maintain a deposit relationship. They want the credit card relationship. They want the checking account. And if a business comes in and says, hey, I need some capital to expand because things are going great, or things are a little bit tight, I may need a little capital to get through payroll next week, and they may not get approved at the bank. And you never want to tell your customer no if you are a banker, because he's not just going to say, okay, that stinks. He's going to go down the road to the next bank. And if that bank says yes, I promise you that before they say yes, they're going to say, but by the way, we need you to move your checking account here, your deposit account here, your credit card here. So if that banker that can't quite satisfy that customer, he is in a much better position if he can say, hey, I can't help you, but I got a guy that I work with that can. And when we maintain that professional back and forth, he maintains the deposit relationship, and we did a good thing for the client. And then when he gets bankable again, we can, bring him right back to the bank. And it's a win-win straight across the board for the bank, for us, and for the client.
Which I love. So What is your sweet spot for a client? Is it a medium-sized business, a large-sized business?
We consider ourselves specialists with, I call small to mid-sized businesses. Anywhere from a guy that's doing $500,000 a year, which is a small business, to a guy that's doing, a couple million to 10 million to $20 million a year in revenues. Those are our real key clients.
So if I'm coming to you and I'm considering a loan because I've been denied from my lender, what are you looking at, or what questions would you ask me to help field the best opportunities that you can offer to me?
That's a great question. So we're really looking at the totality of the of what that particular business will show. We're going to look at the credit score, obviously, but that's not first and foremost, and that's certainly not only. We're going to look at the revenue, the cash flow, how much money is going in, how much money is going out, and how well you actually handle your account. Are you bouncing checks? That's not so good, but it's, again, not a killer. And what's kind of neat about us, and a little distinction we do is your story matters, believe it or not. And I want to know what you're going to use the money for, because we have relationships with lenders, and if we're loaning the money ourselves, we kind of sell the story. If we make sense, like during Corona, we had pharmacists come to us, and their numbers didn't look so hot because it was the coronavirus and people were staying inside. But they were about to roll out a whole vaccine program, and they were going to make a lot of money doing that. And we were able to sell that story when the numbers didn't quite tell the story. That's something that's pretty neat about it.
What happens when you've identified a client where really it's a Band-Aid?
Well, if you're asking me if I have a short-term solution for somebody that walks in the door, those do occur. And sometimes we have somebody that'll walk in and say, we need money in 48 hours. And of course, that's not a long-term approach, but we can put that Band-Aid on the process, on the immediate problem, and then always have an eye on the ball for a long-term solution that's going to be the best thing for them.
So a lot of times when people are applying for business lines of credit, they're denied because of their personal credit. Are your programs reviewing the personal credit, the business credit, and are you asking for a personal guarantee?
Well, again, I hate to sound vague, but it depends. Every situation is different. And if the business is been established for a certain amount of time and has, as you know, in the business, a PAYDEX score or a strong Dun & Bradstreet rating and things along that line, it makes it easier for us to do something strictly in the name of the business. That's what we always aim and goal to do. But occasionally, if somebody is still new and it's only 2, 3, 4-year-old business, perhaps we need to take a look at what their personal credit looks like. But it's not quite as important as how you handle your business. As far as cash flow is important. Pay attention to how you manage your bank account.
So would it be safe to say that you're not the right fit for a startup?
Well, if it's somebody that walks in with a cocktail napkin and an idea and a dream and an idea written on it, I'm not going to tell you.
Sometimes those are the best ones. Just say those are sometimes the best.
But sometimes if that becomes a little more difficult. I would say it's not, I hate to say never, but it's certainly not our sweet spot. But like I said, there could be, depending on, is there real estate involved? Are there any assets involved that they bring to the table? Or, like I said, a cocktail napkin with an idea written on it.
Now, I love the fact that not every 2 clients are the same.
Yes.
However, I know that people are going to listen to this and try to figure out whether or not you are the right resource for them. Does somebody pay for your time and consultation?
Another great question, and the answer is no. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. We don't charge any upfront fees or any charges. It's strictly due to a success scenario, and if we do well, then the lender will give us a payment. But that's the only time it happens.
Our listeners are all over the United States. Are you specifically bound to any one state over another, or is there a higher concentration that you lend in one area or industry over another?
As far as geographic limitations, there are none within the 50 states. We do business in every single state. As far as the businesses that are better than others, there are no cutouts, with the exception of, believe it or not, cannabis business. But even that's rolling back in. But we're pretty much diverse straight across.
I love it. So if somebody wanted to reach out and speak to you, how would they get in contact with you?
They can call me at 954-637-2754. It's 954-637-2754. Or you can email me at bud.clarke@corpcapdirect.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So once again, we are in studio today with Bud Clarke with Corporate Capital Direct. If you have any questions regarding your ability to fund, or you are considering an updated project or even a consolidation, feel free to reach out to Bud, and stay tuned. We'll be bringing on our next guest.